Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition Chronicle, Cradle of Liberty. This is our final prologue. I know I said last time was our final prologue, but I lied. Vampires lie. This is Prologue 4, A Leap from the Gallows. So let's meet our leaping vampires, starting with Avery.
Hello, everyone. Hi, it's me, Avery, at Avery DuBois on all the social media platforms. I style myself as something of an internet personality. And in this happy time zone that we greet you in, I will be playing the caitiff dog, Vern Rasmussen.
Thank you. And Laura.
Hi, hello, good zone folks. You can call me Laura or Tutu or Laura Tutu. You can find me all over the internet as _ Laura Tutu. And tonight I will be playing Bryony, the neonate Ventru, with all of the audacity.
Perfect. And I'm Huddy, your storyteller for this evening. As always, this is a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition actual play. We've gone over our safety and consent, but please check in with yourselves as your well-being is important to all of us who are playing. All the content warnings for this game will be down in the description below. So if you two are ready, let's go to Boston. Tonight, this newly formed coterie were tasked with finding and retrieving the Malkavian primogen Richard Dunham from the ruins of the Red Salon, and ultimately returning him to Prince Iverson. However, most of the coterie had also received visits from a wandering pack of Sabbat, demanding not only Richard be turned over to them, but the former Prince Quentin King, who was long gone to the beckoning. In the attempt to bring Richard Dunham back to the Ivory Tower, Vern, the Camarilla dog, beat the primogen into torpor, and the Sabbat took this opportunity to demand their prize. Between gunshots, thin blood alchemy, and shadow tendrils, Arthur carrying Marius and all the Sabbat -1 who lost her head to a shotgun blast escaped the enclosing authorities, alerted to the area by the noise on the busy Washington street. Bryony, you were hit with a makeshift grenade by one of these Sabbat that rendered you practically paralyzed. Caustic bile is secreting from your eyes and mouth. You can see and you can hear, but you cannot move and you cannot speak. This is what it must be like to be staked, you imagine. From your position on the ground, lying next to Richard's torpored corpse in a body bag, you painfully move your eyes up to look at Vern, surrounded by cops with guns unholstered, pointed at him. You watch Vern hold up his arms, his eyes never leaving yours. He allows the police to bring him to his knees and cuff him, but he's looking at you, he's talking to you, perhaps not grasping or understanding in this moment that you can't speak back to him.
I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to do here, Bree. Bree, tell me what to do. So I can't do anything unless you tell me what to do. Tell me to bite. I'll bite them all. I'll take them. You just tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Bree, I'm losing it. Bree, tell me what to do.
His voice gets quieter. Well, not really quieter, but farther away as he is being led away. And you watch him get put into the back of a police car. Of course, some of the police then notice you on the scene, and the body bag next to you. You already don't have a pulse, you have no life and warmth naturally in your body anymore, so they assume you, along with Richard, are already dead. And why wouldn't they? As you hear one of them signal their dispatch and call for an ambulance, you close your eyes to whatever will come next. Time passes, Bree, and you don't know how much. When you notice that you can begin to move again, you suddenly become extremely aware of an assault on your senses. The air is cold, unnaturally so, pressing against the skin of your face like a shroud. There's a sharp chemical tang in the air that just dominates everything, an acrid sting of bleach and formaldehyde that creeps into the back of your throat, leaving a sour taste. Beneath the chemical sterility lies something more organic, a faint, persistent musk of decay, barely masked but undeniably present. It's a sickly sweet undertone that evokes images of rotting fruit left in the sun too long, mingling with the coppery tang of old blood. You realize, Bryony, you're laying in a body bag that's been zipped halfway open. You see a woman sitting on the examination table beside you, kicking her long legs like a child with ants in their pants. She's strikingly beautiful with dark hair and eyes, and she's wearing a black silk button-up shirt with a dark tie and slacks, very edgy. She peers down into your face and she says, Welcome back to the unliving.
Where am I?
City morgue.
Damn it. Goddamn Sabat.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry. They won't be coming back for a while.
Vern?
It's not here.
Who are you?
Who am I? You can call me Saris.
Does that name ring a bell, storyteller?
Not to you.
Are you meant to be my rescue, Saris?
Yeah, you could say that. I was sent... Well, your rescue comes in the form of a major boon that you now owe to the La Sombra Primogen Ezra Contreras.
Oh, that is the way things work. Either that or lie on this slab. So
Yeah,
I'll
you
take
should
it.
maybe get up, stretch your limbs, see how you feel. That thin blood alchemy I've heard can be really nasty.
I was gonna say, how do I feel?
You don't feel... You feel like you've been laying in a single place for a significant amount of time. Not the same way you feel when you wake up from your day sleep. This is a little bit different feeling. Again, you've never been staked, so you're not quite sure what it is that you're feeling. But you can move, you can stretch and breathe, or breathe if you want to, speak and blink
Breathe.
and everything. Yeah.
Oh. Well, that was uniquely awful.
That's a good way to sum up the Sabbat. Uniquely awful.
Yeah. There was another body bag with me.
Yeah, I was sort of hoping you could tell me what happened to it.
Well, from what I could tell, the cops thought we were both dead, so I would hope it would be around here somewhere.
She jumps down off of the sort of exam, well, I guess an autopsy table that she's sitting on, and she looks over and she says, Mock over here says that there's nothing else has come in. And when you look to where she points, you see this figure in the corner. You didn't notice them first, but now you realize that this tangy organic smell is coming from him. And you hear now, you become aware of the sound of squelching and crunching. And in the corner is a man who looks at you. He's got a mask pulled down, and he's currently chewing on an errant arm. It's not attached to any body. He's just eating it. And his teeth, almost like shark's teeth, like razor sharp in his mouth, and far too many of them.
All right.
Mark, this is Brienne.
Hello, Mark.
Mark is a member of Clan Hikata.
A lot of things just made sense. Okay. Storyteller, is there anything else in this room, like a desk, a workstation?
There is. Must be Mark's desk. He's seated at it.
Okay. Mark, was it?
Yeah, I'm Mark.
Is there any place else that they would take a newly retrieved corpse?
Not to disparage you, we sort of have a contentious rapport at the moment going with the Ivory Tower because of... Yeah, it's not important. I already checked all possible avenues that I am aware of as a coroner. Wherever he's been taken isn't anywhere official.
Of course it's not. Why would anything ever have to be simple?
Saris pipes up and she says, yeah, and Ezra didn't just rescue you, or I guess in the process of rescuing you, he also got Vern out. Vern was taken by the police and put into jail.
Yeah, I saw. Of course he was.
But Ezra didn't send me after Vern. Vern and I have a interesting history together. He sent Dawson, the sheriff.
Yeah. Damn it.
I was sort of hoping that you could get Vern out of that sticky situation. Ezra doesn't seem super concerned about what Delsin does to him, but I would hate if I couldn't say goodbye to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At the very least, I owe it to him. He's been watching my back for a while now.
Yeah, he's good like that. I can take you to where Delsin is keeping him, but I can't go with you. Delsin would kill me on the spot.
Understood. I would be grateful. Nonetheless.
Sure. We'll say you owe me one.
And I owe you one.
And she holds out her hand. Who says that Anarchs and Camarilla can't work together? Oh, wait. You guys, when you betrayed us that last time with the Second Inquisition. Water under the bridge, right?
For the record, that whole thing was kind of above my pay grade.
Yeah.
Most things are, now that I think about it.
No shock that M.M. Lewis hasn't been seen on the streets since then.
Story title, do I know that name?
Yes. M.M. is the child of the Toreador Primogen, and at one time, before the Second Inquisition, before the attack by the Second Inquisition, she was an emissary to the Anarchs. And she is on the cover of the Swan Song game. She is, or was, very well regarded by the Anarchs. She sort of, whenever anything occurred where negotiations, diplomacy needed to be employed, she was the one they sent. However, when the Second Inquisition attack happened, when the First Light attack happened, they used that position of MM's, the Camarilla, to get her to convince the Anarchs to help them fight, and then they abandoned them to the fate of the Second Inquisition. Tricked them into cannon fodder is the fastest way to put it.
No, that sounds like the tower.
Is that Anarch sympathies I hear from Aventru?
The way I see it, SI doesn't care where our loyalties lie. They just want us dead. So.
That's wild. That's exactly what MM told us when she recruited us to help fight and then left us there at the black site.
Like I said, above my pay grade, like most things.
Well, we'll see what you make of yourself in the tower.
One can hope, I guess. I don't even know if that's the right word anymore. Shall we?
Would you make me a rouse check, Brianny? Where was your hunger at from the last time, if you had it marked?
Looks like 2. That is a success.
All right, so you're still at 2. And obviously, drinking blood bags or chowing down on an errant limb or organ is not something that you can partake of, at least not comfortably.
No, haven't reached that level of desperation quite yet.
So Saris leads you up and out of the morgue, and you think she's going to lead you up through the station. You get a little bit nervous, but she doesn't. Here in Boston, many of the oldest buildings of the United States exist, and she leads you through what appears to be a former tunnel that was used to send alcohol through at one time during Prohibition.
Love it.
And she leads you up and out and onto the streets. Is there anything that you would like to say to Saris as you walk? Any questions you'd like to ask her? Now is the time to do it, because she will not be able to come with you into Fenway Park.
How do you know Vern?
That is a very long, complicated story. I know Vern because he's my sire.
That'll be long and complicated no matter how you slice it.
I don't know. I think the relationship between you and Beryl was quite simple, transactional even.
You could put it that way. Storyteller, has Vern ever mentioned Ceres at all?
No, you've heard him mention he might. I would say that as intelligent as you are, you might have gleaned. He's mentioned a woman named Diana quite a few times, but she doesn't introduce herself as Diana.
Interesting. So all of this is in service of Vern?
Oh no. I was never in service of Vern. He abandoned me pretty quickly after he embraced me. Not really his fault, though.
Well, we're going for broke, I guess. What happened?
I told you that's a long and complicated story. But, maybe it's... Well, I guess you can't really ask Vern either, and you can't ask Jara because she's dead. He tried to help me. He made a mistake. I became this. Long story long.
Long story long.
Unfortunately, you won't get any better answers from Vern. In fact, you might get conflicting answers or answers that don't make any sense, and that's not Vern's fault either.
I know we're not supposed to trust people, especially each other. But he's been the only one who's been watching my back recently.
Is that a statement? A question?
A statement.
I have nothing in particular to add to it. I think, at the core, Vern is a good person. Or he was. What he is now, I couldn't say.
I'm not sure if even he knows.
I am. He doesn't.
I'll get him out.
I appreciate that. Either you'll owe me or I'll owe you or we'll be even. I haven't really decided yet. But either way, the only reason I was there, my connections with the Hecata, my ability to get you out of the morgue and not under the scalpel of someone quite curious, is because of Ezra Contreras.
I mean, well, are there worse people I could owe a boon to?
Yes.
Fair enough.
And I'll give you this piece of advice, she says, as you approach closer to the green monster, as we call it, which is the big green wall that surrounds Fenway Park. I'll give you this piece of advice. If there's one kindred in all of the city of Boston that I would never, ever trust, it's the Toreador Primogen. You have a good night, Miss Perkins. I'm sure we'll be seeing each other again.
Be safe out there.
Never. And you watch her slip into shadow. We're going to move our scene over to Vern. Now, Vern, you have been, let's call it, incarcerated. You're chained by the neck to the wall. There is a bowl of blood that you must strain to reach every night. And at the moment, Delson is standing outside of the bars of your cage. And he's repeated the same question to you he's asked you multiple times these nights. Tell me where Richard's body is. dog. And he slams his hands against the bars and they rattle your eardrums.
I think Vern will lock eyes with them. Vern's eyes almost twitching, almost shaking in his skull. Just turns his head. What, you didn't fucking get him? Iverson's gonna tear you apart. Listen, I know what a monarch does to a bad dog, and you're gonna get it.
He opens the cage door, picks up the bowl of blood, and throws it against your face. Make me a Ross check, Vern. I don't know where you were at.
I was
3.
also at 2.
2.
I succeed.
Okay. Do you lick any of the blood as it spills across your face and chest?
Now I'll just spit it back in Delson's face.
You can't make me any roll to resist this. What's your fortitude? Do you have any? You should.
3. Toughness and Defy Bane, as well as resilience.
I'll allow you to activate toughness.
Sure.
Of course, what a dick. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He hits you across the face. Take 4 points of superficial damage. You were already injured from before.
Correct. That'll take me to... I have 5 levels of superficial I can still fill.
It's extremely painful. You think he breaks your orbital bone right under your eye so that your right eye now can no longer move up, down, left, right, or center. It's almost like a hard-boiled egg inside of your eye socket now. If you don't know where Richard is, Vern, there is no reason for me to keep you unalive. There was never a reason for me to keep you unalive after Quentin was gone.
Oh, you thought you could kill me, Dally.
He's gonna hit you again. Is he gonna hit you into torpor, Vern?
I mean, I still got toughness up, so we'll see.
3 more points of superficial damage.
Heard.
As he uppercuts you, and you feel the lower part of your jaw crack and splinter, you hang a little bit slack-jawed, can't speak appropriately anymore. One last time. Explain it to me again, where you last saw Richard.
In a fucking body bag on the street. But don't worry, Quentin's gonna come for him. Don't worry. Quentin's gonna come for all you fuckers.
And as soon as you say that, in your mind you hear, "Good dog."
And when he comes back for you, Deli, I'm gonna rip your fucking guts out with my teeth, you fucking scumbag. And I'm gonna laugh while he fucking draws and quarters you.
Delson pulls out a blade that he keeps where a holster should be for a gun, a shoulder holster. He keeps a blade there. He pulls it out and holds it in his hand. You're a piece of trash that Jara should have put down the night she found you. And Brienne, this is going to be a roll-off. I'm going to need a composure and persuasion roll versus him slicing off. Now his melee isn't as good. Slicing off Vern's head.
Okay, I'm gonna rouse check it just to
I
be
would.
safe.
I didn't roll super great, but I didn't roll terrible.
Well, I get hungrier, but you know what? The things we do for our friends.
Beryl disagrees in your mind, and he says, my child, my child, my child, let the sheriff do his work. You'll get some of the blood when he's done. Delicious.
I need him.
I know how you feel about this dog. I've seen your eyes fall over his muscles. It's perfect for your palate.
That's 5 successes.
Beats his. So he goes, and you see, this is the scene that you come upon. You see Delson inside of a cage. You see Vern is extraordinarily injured. His face is almost unrecognizable, beaten as it is. He is chained by the neck to the wall, and Delson is holding a blade. It's not a long blade, but it's long enough to perhaps half decapitate Vern. And he's holding it back, ready to swing forward. What do you say to him?
Sheriff, please.
And he stops, and Vern, of course, you hear his voice. Delson turns. Delson is about 6'6", very, very muscular. He's like 300 pounds of functional muscle. He has a beard, very thick, dark hair. He's a gangrel. And he says, Miss Perkins, no one told me that you were making a visit to my domain this evening.
I apologize for the presumption, but I was told that Vern was here. And given that we were involved in what happened at the remains of the Red Salon, I thought I had better come and offer up what information I could.
No one informed me that you were there at the Red Salon. Vern certainly didn't.
There was an attempt to clear it, as it were, as there was still a squatter inside.
Are you saying you were there when Richard was taken?
I'm saying it was my hope to bring him back to the tower. But the Sabbat showed up before we could go.
Delson turns angrily back at Vern. Holds the knife right up against your Adam's apple. Didn't say anything about the Sword of Cain, dog.
Woof, woof.
Vern, please.
Miss Perkins, I will give the two of you a few minutes alone to discuss, come together with the story that you'd like to tell me, and then I will decide whether or not Vern needs to meet justice, as is my right within the Ivory Tower of Boston.
Of course, sir.
He sheathes the sword, or the small blade, and he exits out through a door that you weren't aware was there. It seems to be covered by a painter's cloth. And for the moment, you two are alone. Vern, you are still chained. You are injured. Would like to try and heal any of your damage so that you don't look so horrifying to Bree? Or are you good?
Yeah, no, I'll try and heal really quick. So I currently have 8 levels of superficial, which is 4 rouse checks.
Good grief.
3 successes, 1 failure. So I will go up to 3.
All right. And of course, your beast sounds exactly like Quentin King. Who's a good doggy? Who's a good doggy? Doggy want to eat? Doggy want to bite? Doggy want to feed? Yum yum, doggy. Here she is, doggy. Get her to come close and chomp down, but yum yum.
Not your hair, Quentin.
And the two of you are alone.
I rush over immediately, take a handkerchief from my pocket and start wiping some of the worst of the blood off of Vern's face. I'm sorry. I couldn't move. Whatever they threw at us, I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything.
It's not your fault.
Brianny, I'm so sorry if you're going to get that close to him and wipe blood off. Another rouse check. I'm so sorry.
No, you're not. Don't lie to me.
I can be sorry.
Hungrier.
You had 4 hunger. Come, my dear, enough of this facade. You can find other underlings, you can find other minions, but you know this one's blood will be worth the risk. Calculated risks, we discussed this. He can't move. Go on, take a taste.
No.
Disappoint me, my dear.
Yeah, well, I've been doing that a lot recently. What? Why didn't you tell him? Why didn't you explain what the fuck happened?
If I'm being honest, I don't really remember much until you walked in the door.
Worst part is, we were almost free and clear until that fucking pack showed up.
Yeah. Yeah, they paid. They paid.
Yeah, I saw.
Sorry, you had to see that.
Moderately impressed, if I'm not gonna lie to you.
Don't be. What I do's beneath you.
If I had more strength available to me, we might not have been in this situation.
It wasn't about strength. You know how I do what I do, Bree.
Bree shakes her head.
Because there's no place I'm not willing to stoop down to get it fucking done. I don't care if I gotta put my teeth around a fucking thin blood. I don't care if I gotta drag a mother and her kids out into the street. I don't care what the fuck I have to do. I get the job done. That's why Delson's got me in here with my fucking hands behind my back. Fucking scumbag.
I know you do not like him, dear, but maybe we don't antagonize him. I would like to get you out of here in one piece, if that's all right. Please.
Yeah. What do you want to tell him?
Honestly, I think we just need to tell him what happened.
You gonna tell him what I did to Dick?
I mean, maybe leave that part out, but...
You gonna tell him what Maria saw in the fucking salon? Because I'm sure as shit not.
I'm going to explain that we were sent on an errand that would have been successful had a Sabbat war pack not interrupted us.
That's not gonna be an excuse. He's not gonna take it. Listen, Jara told me a lot about this guy. And as limp dick as he is, he's a stickler.
Well, I don't intend to just give up the hunt. We still have a body to retrieve, but I can't very well do that on my own, can I?
You can do anything you... But... it still leaves us at the point of... what's the word? The point of, concentration or whatever. What the fuck are we gonna tell Delson?
Someone managed to get me out of the morgue. Your child,
Sarah's.
Yep.
Good. Maybe there's still some hope there. I'm not holding my breath.
She is apparently friends with a Hakata named Mark, who is very interesting and a little creepy, if I'm not gonna lie. Unfortunately, they didn't see another body bag come in with me.
Vern, can you roll me intelligence and streetwise?
Sure. I'm going to go ahead and assume That my streetwise specialty of movers and shakers does not apply here.
No. This is related to a little something different. Something Brienne wouldn't know because she's only been... I mean, not that you have not only been raised in the Ivory Tower, but you've been around longer too. Okay, so no, you're on the same level as Brienne. As far as you are aware, you have been fed the Boston Camarilla propaganda as there are no Hecata anymore in Boston, that they left along with Quentin.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any Hecata in the city. I mean, they made a deal with the once and future king, and when he left, they left.
Well, apparently this one decided to stay behind and is hanging out with Saris at the coroner's office.
He got a way in?
Probably.
I think we should file that away.
But the problem still stands. Whoever brought me into the morgue did not bring good old Dick's body in with me, so he's been taken somewhere else, and I need to figure out where.
Did Saris tell you about their political affiliations?
Yep. From what little we talked about, most importantly, she can't show up here because Delson will fucking kill her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's...
How many?
One success.
That's all I need, is one. Yeah, so traditions. Childer can't be embraced without the permission of the prince. So you're thinking that's the most likely reason she can't be seen in front of the sheriff.
Okay.
So she is an illegal embrace.
Yeah, she's a violation of the third.
Burn, you scoundrel.
It wasn't like that.
She just, from what I gathered, whatever your relationship, she just doesn't want you to die again.
She's got a funny way of showing it.
Apparently.
Look, getting in with the cops is a little above my Childer and their capabilities, from what I understand. Who are they working for? That's the real question.
Well, given the boon I now owe to the La Sombra Primogen, that's probably your first clue.
Contreras?
Yeah.
The king of love and beauty.
Yeah. I'm real pleased right now, in case you couldn't tell. This is gonna be great.
Then that'd be the first place I looked for Dick.
Mm.
If they've already gotten their hand in the cop jar, why wouldn't they have just taken him? To have another Primogen owe you a boon like that, I mean, that's a big play. That's what Jara would have done.
Great. All right. Then what do you want to tell Delson?
I want to fucking kill him.
Well, we can't do that. That's not on the table. So, actionable items only, please.
Why isn't it on the table? There'd be no witnesses. It'd just be you and me. You think we can't cook a story up?
Bree stands up and she's wearing like her little, like, she's dressed appropriately for a bit of a caper because obviously she's not going to trot around in fucking Chanel when they're about to go dig through a burnt out club. But like, Vern, sweetie, darling, heart of my heart, what makes you think I could do anything right now?
Fair enough. Tell him whatever you want to tell him. He won't listen to me anyway. I've been trying. I think I've been trying to tell him what happened for a few nights now, and he's just not listening.
No offense, but when I walked in, it sounded more like you were poking the bear, so to speak.
He's not a bear. He's not even a fucking wolf. He's just another dog on a chain.
That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean, and you know that's not what I mean. Stop being a smartass. Been hanging around with me too much. Knock it off.
Sorry. No, tell him whatever you want to tell him. Tell him whatever covers your ass the most and leaves me out to dry. I can handle him.
Not
Without my hands behind my back, I can handle it. Look, as much as Delson puffs out his chest, I've known Mr. Coates for a long time. And he talks a big game about killing me. And yeah, he probably would have halfway cut my head off, but he wouldn't have cut the other half off if he didn't give Iverson a call first and make sure that he was licking the right ass to get the job done. He's more than likely on the phone with her while we're having this talk.
I also really didn't need that image in my head, so thank you for that.
I wouldn't worry about it. From my understanding, he's a cuck.
Stop making me laugh. This isn't funny. This is a really shit situation.
As you
are making
say,
inappropriate
I
jokes.
hear he's a cuck. Delson returns to the room, you hear the painter's sheet move fast. I really hope that I didn't hear what I just heard.
Nope.
Miss Perkins, would you like to explain to me exactly what occurred the night at the Red Salon?
We were simply meant to retrieve the squatter from the Red Salon.
The squatter being the Primogen, the Malkavian Primogen Richard Dunham.
Yes.
Please continue.
Fucking Sabat showed up. There was a thin blood who was throwing shit around that I've never seen before, so that's perfect. I believe I have a way to retrieve said Malkavian Primogen. In fact, I'd like to, because I hate leaving a job undone.
Would you stake your life on it? Your unlife?
Do I have a choice?
What about his?
I need him, Sheriff.
If that's the case, Miss Perkins, then his unlife is in your hands. You will deliver Richard Dunham, in whatever state you find him, to Prince Iverson in a, let's say, correct amount of time. If you do not, Vern will meet the sun.
I'll look at Vern.
I'll just shrug.
An appropriate amount of time, Miss Perkins. Do not test the limits of what is appropriate.
I wouldn't dream of it, Sheriff.
He throws you a key. You may take your dog home. Prince Iverson is having a party tonight. I couldn't attend because I was busy, and it is almost over now. I'm sure your coterie will tell you all about it, as they were in attendance.
I can't wait to hear the details.
And don't worry, Prince Iverson covered for you.
Always grateful to have the help of my clan.
And your prince.
Of course.
He looks at you, Vern. One step, one toe. Out of line. I'll be right there. And we can have that row, that showdown you've been asking for.
He'll be really happy to see you again, Delson.
He immediately switches back to you, Brienne. You better get him to stop talking about the long-gone Malkavian prince.
I will see what I can do, Sheriff.
The wrong people hear that. They won't take it lightly.
We'd best get to work.
Yes. And he leaves this time not through the painter sheet, but out into the main ballpark, to the field, to Fenway Park. Do you unchain Vern?
Yes, without hesitation or question.
Brienne gets closer and she moves close to you to unlock it right by your neck. Another Ross check, please. This is what I'd do. This is what I'd do. I cause
I'm
problems.
gonna get killed by my own puppy.
Success.
Okay. So you don't hear Quentin in your mind. You do get a whiff of Bree as she is very close to you. Smell her hair and up behind her ear. It smells good. She's expensive perfume. She just smells strangely like a hospital a little bit, though. A strange whiff of that against her skin.
We won't say anything. We'll just kind of shake his wrists a little bit once they're unbound. And then he'll actually look at that chain and wrap it up and carry it out with him.
I have one question before you leave. Does anyone want to explore wherever Delson went behind that painter's cloth, or are they just leaving?
Oh, Jara would never forgive me if I didn't snoop.
I was gonna say, I'm nosy, so maybe if
So
I've got
we're in the sheriff's
something-
domain, and we're gonna snoop.
just a peek.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go in. I just kind of want to.
Okay, so you peek. Now, do you have any ability to see in supernatural darkness? Or regular darkness, rather? Not supernatural.
Do I? I don't know. Hold on. No. I've got my fortitude and my dominate and my presence. Nothing.
So it's really dark. You don't see it. You don't know what Delson could have been doing in here. There's no dark. You reach around for some lights. Nothing here. Yeah?
Vern will Eyes of the Beast.
There you go. You turn on Eyes of the Beast, and you can see perfectly in the dark. And you see here he has a small office set up, and a cork board, and a lot of string on it. You have to get a little bit closer, though, to see exactly what it is.
Okay, he'll walk in. Doesn't care.
Do you take Brienne with you?
I'm not going.
No.
I was gonna be nosy. I'm not going in.
Vern, with his completely red eyes, walks right in behind the painter's cloth. You see that he has images, stills, if you will, of the black site where the Second Inquisition bombing happened. You saw these same stills from the camera when you were visiting Caius, the Nosferatu Primogen, a few nights ago. But he has other stills. One in particular is one that you recognize. It's a picture of that Iron Maiden. However, when you found it at the Red Salon, it was open and completely drenched in blood. This one is closed. And you see eyes inside of it in the slat at the top. You know those eyes. You know exactly who was in there. The once and forever king.
Vern will take everything off the board. And
will you? All right.
I think he'll just put it all in his pocket.
Okay.
And he'll walk out and he'll just pat his pocket. You didn't see anything. I did this on my own. This isn't on you. I'll show you in the car. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Okay. If I had blood pressure, it would be so high right now. I swear to God, Vern.
In a good way?
Stop that.
Yes, ma'am.
Stop that.
So you walk out into Fenway Park. Brittany doesn't really mean anything to you. I mean, I don't know if, as a kid, if you were being taken to ballpark, to baseball games very often. Like, you know.
It's just, I feel like there was a Mets game at one point with dear old dad, just for shits and giggles.
Sure. Vern, for you, having grown up in the 30s, baseball was extremely important pastime to you. I believe as a child, you probably still would have remembered Babe Ruth playing for the Red Sox before he switched over to the Yankees. The great betrayal. Anyway, and so as you walk out, you almost can hear the sound of a baseball being slammed against a wooden bat, that crack sound and the sound of the crowd. It's almost incredible. Is there anything you'd like to do in the park before you leave? You never get to come here anymore. You don't get to see baseball games anymore. They all happen during the day. And of course, Delson has claimed it now, so you couldn't even go out and, you know, hit a few balls just for shits and giggles anymore.
Actually, yeah, like, Vern, do you stop at all?
Yeah, as we kind of exit the dugout, Vern just kind of looks around the field. When I was a kid, I always hoped I'd end up out there. There wasn't a fucking kid in the neighborhood who didn't play ball. Things were different back then.
Were you any good?
Nah, no. It's too short. Yeah. You know, with as low as my strike zone was, every curveball, every slider, so get me every time. Tell you what I was good at. I was a good shortstop. I remember Morris Groves trying to make a steal for third. And Marty O'Connor, he threw me the ball at shortstop, and I fucking put my shoulder in Morris's jaw, and I've never seen teeth fly out of a guy's head like that.
So you've always been breaking teeth.
I don't know. I think I was a good kid once.
As you reminisce, Vern, intelligence and awareness, please.
It's not a super awesome pool for me.
No, it's not, and there's a reason that it's not.
With 3 hunger dice. Cool beans.
Cool. I asked if you were going to stop.
Cool.
That's why I asked. Wasn't going to force this roll on you.
Well,
Gonna trick you into it.
It's not great. It's a messy crit for 4.
A messy crit for 4. All right. Yes. So as you're reminiscing these memories, you're talking about them with Brienne, and you can almost picture and smell the streets that you grew up on. You can almost picture the faces of these children. But as you talk, the children's faces start swarming and changing, and they slowly transform into the faces of Jara. And the story that you're telling Bree suddenly is coming out of her voice, or is being told to you through her voice, through these children's faces. You suddenly become very confused, and you hear her say, "Do you understand, Vern? You understand what I'm telling you? You loved baseball, the big green monster. You used to want to be a star. You used to want to be a baseball star. You understand, Vern?" And the messy critical hits you. And you're angry, and you see an errant bat that's right outside the dugout. You haven't walked too far out into the field, and you take it, and you begin smashing it down into the ground again and again and again. Increase your hunger to 4, please.
She fucking lied to me. She fucking... No. She wouldn't, but she did. She wouldn't, but she fucking did. And he'll just grip the bat so tight that the handle shatters in his hand.
Vern?
What?
Watching this, I think Brainy sort of stepped back and like put both hands up to just let him work out the messy crit.
Effectively, he's holding a stake in his hand.
Can you put that down, please?
He'll just slip it into his jacket.
I'll approach carefully. Can I see your hand?
He'll look away and hold his hand out.
Full of wooden splinters. And it's not bleeding actively because vampires don't actively bleed. But he's but you can see all the places where the wood has gone into his hand, into the creases of his fingers everywhere.
Very gently, very carefully pull out as many splinters as I can get with my fingers. Nails. Manicure's good for something.
She lied to me.
Who did?
Jara. That wasn't my memory. I don't know who I am. And I'm starting to think I never really did. I told you back at the salon. I was close to Quentin. And I told you that you didn't want to meet him. You don't understand. There's nothing I can do to make you understand. The way he was, the hold he held over the people, over the kindred of this fucking city. He was a living god, is a living god, and he's back. Bree. There's no doubt in my mind. And it's gonna get bad. And I can't help you with this one, because if you put me face to face with Quentin King, I don't have a choice. I will pick him every time, and I'll kill the fucking lot of you. You gotta promise me. If we ever get in a room with him, you put me down first. I can't do it again.
Don't ask me to do that. Please don't.
There's nobody else I can ask, kiddo. There's nobody else I can ask. Arthur's too savvy. He moves too quick. Marius, listen, I'd like Marius, but Marius is always going to put their skin above everybody else's. Something I saw in Dajan the moment I fucking met him. He's a fucking worm. And that's not a bad thing. It gets you places. You got to eat through a lot of apple to get to the core, you know what I mean? But and I knew Beryl for a long time too. But you're not like Beryl. You're different. That's why he picked you. Not because he wanted to lift your difference up, but just because he wanted to use your fucking eyes. He wanted to see the world the way you saw it so that he could take advantage of the things that you see. And when I'm in a room with Quentin, I can't see my way out, Bree. I can't do it.
Okay.
Now, where do you want to start looking for Dick?
That's a sentence. Thank you, Vern. Thank you.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, no, oh, honey, we talked about this.
Don't you have apps for that or whatever?
I think Brianny starts like legitimately laughing, but in that it's been a terrible like 5 days. And if I don't let it out this way, I'm gonna start crying kind of laughter. So it's a little manic.
Yeah, her laughter is manic, uproarious. It echoes throughout as you're still here in Fenway Park. It echoes off of the green monster. It's a little disconcerting, Vern, but also endearing. You haven't heard Brianny laugh very often in the years that you've known her.
And like she full on like forehead on your shoulder, like gripping your arm, about to fall over, laughing so hard. Oh, I'm sorry. It's either this or you're going to be covered in blood tears. So pick one.
I'm too hungry for the latter, so...
That's what I thought. Let's go.
Also, you gotta stop being so nice to me or I'm gonna fall in love with you.
Don't threaten me with a good time, Vern.
You don't want that, trust me. I'm messy in relationships, I think. I need to feed, and we're a long way from Southie, so...
Hey, Vern.
Yeah.
I know people think that I have my shit together because of who my sire was and my fucking clan.
He'll hold his hand up. Don't say it. Don't say it out loud.
What?
I understand. But the minute you acknowledge it, it becomes real, not just something in your head. And the minute it becomes real, it's the minutes one of these fucks out here is going to see it and they're going to use it against you. I get it. I do. Just please promise me you'll just don't say it out loud. Say it in a private moment to yourself. Don't ever let anyone hear you say it, not even me. And especially not Marius, because they'll just twist the knife. Come on, we got to get out of here.
All right.
Speaking of Marius, last roll I'll ask this evening. Can both of you make me intelligence and occult rolls, if you have any dots in occult? Or wits and occult, if that's higher.
It's all the goddamn same for me.
3 dice with 4 hunger? Sure.
I will let you hold off on this roll, Vern, and feed first. We'll see how Brianny does. Because you're too hungry right now.
That's 2 successes.
2 successes.
3 dice.
All right, let's do this then. I lied, this is not the last roll I'm going to ask, but hold on to those 2 successes. Vern, you need to eat now, because if you get any hungrier, you're going to eat Brianny, who happens to be the closest person to you. You're not in Southie right now, you're in Kenmore Square, so you need Kenmore Square. God, can't talk. So you need to find someone. I have forgotten your Predator roll. Hang on.
Strength and brawl.
Is it strength? Yeah, but for finding someone? Isn't there 2 for that for Alley Cat? There might not be. I might be wrong about that.
Yeah, no, there are 2. There's wits and streetwise, and there's strength and brawl.
Right, so make me a wits and street. Yeah, I knew there was 2. Thank you. I knew there was 2. Make me a wits and streetwise roll to see if you can find someone here. Kenmore Square. It's it's late. There wouldn't really be anyone hanging around there. The bars maybe. The bars aren't super close.
2 successes.
2 successes. Brianna, you want to help him out? Roll me wits and streetwise.
Yeah.
Get at least 2 more successes.
Well, hopefully, because all I got is the wits. I have no streetwise. Listen, shush.
That or Vern's gonna be hungry.
Successes.
2 successes. All right, Vern, you don't know this area super well. You don't spend a lot of time here. Of course, this is Delson's domain, right? So you don't fucking want to come here ever for any reason. But you do see one dude sort of wandering around. He's all by himself. He's definitely been drinking, so he's falling over himself, and he falls off of the curb, and he lands down hard on his knees. But he's laughing to himself and trying to pick himself back up, but he's a little too tipsy. He can't quite do it.
Vern will just look over to Bree. Don't watch. And he'll cross the street and looking around for street cameras while he crosses the street.
Oh, let's find out. Yes, you do see a camera here.
Because again, this is not Southie.
That's not. No. And there's a lot more riots that happen here because when the Red Sox win, people go crazy.
Sweet Jesus.
He'll kind of kneel down to the guy and put his hand on the collar of his jacket. Like, hey, buddy, hey, you doing okay?
Yeah, I don't have any fucking change, man. What you want? Trying to get home, you know.
Yeah, no, you took a pretty hard fall there, and I was wondering, maybe for a parliament or something, I could help you get home, huh?
Who smokes parliaments anymore? What is it, 2005?
Get fucked, you fucking scumbag. Come on, let me help you out.
Do I know you?
Yeah.
Are you Kenny's dad?
Yeah, it's so fun. Yeah, Kenny's my uncle.
You're Kenny's brother?
Yeah, something like that,
And he's sort of hanging on to you. Bree, like, how
I'll
far
take
away
him
you're
into
going
the
from
alley.
Bree?
I'll take him into the alley out of sight of the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Where Vern will proceed to brutalize and feed on him.
Mm-hmm. So you bang his head against the brick here, the brick facade.
I think this time it's more of because I already have his shoulder, like his arm around my shoulders. I think Vern will just kind of lean down and wrap his arms around the back of his thigh and pick him up and full body slam his head into the concrete.
And how much of his blood do you drink?
I'll take myself from 4 to 1, and
So you're gonna
then
take 3?
I'll just reach in his pocket looking
All right.
for a phone.
Huddy home rule: when you're sitting at 4 hunger or above, if you happen to somehow skip frenzy at 5, I require a willpower roll to not take everything because I'm mean like that.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dice in this pool. 6 successes, 4 of them being a crit.
Yep, you don't have to take. You can take as much or as little as you want.
Yeah, so I'll take myself down to 1.
And as he stays he's not getting up. He's going to die unless you call someone.
Yeah, I'll reach in his pocket for a phone.
Mm-hmm.
Dial 911 and toss the phone into his hand. And wipe the blood off my face and leave the alley.
And you may make me that intelligence and occult roll while you hurry Bree into her car. I assume. Well, no, you walked here with Sarah, so you need to hurry down actually into the Kenmore Street station.
Mm-hmm.
4 successes.
Kenmore Square station. 4 successes. Brianny's too. All right. So you said you know Dejan. You had conversations with him, been around him. You are aware that the Tremere have an ability. You're not sure exactly what it is because you don't know anything about blood magic. But they have the ability, if they stand in a place, they can do some sort of, Tremere bullshit magic thing, and they can see exactly what happened in that place a certain amount of time ago, whether it was a day ago or a year ago or 100 years ago, depending on how they do it, they can see exactly what happened. So if you, say, grabbed Marius and took them over to the Red Salon, maybe you would see exactly who took Richard's body.
We need to grab Marius if we want to figure out who exactly took Dick.
We're technically a coterie. Fine.
I just know that I've seen Dejan do this thing where he can walk time back. See what happened in a place. Whatever the fuck it is, those fucking Tremere do.
Yeah, the blood woo-woo shit, right? Okay. Well, we don't really have a choice, because it's either that or you get to walk out into the sun, and I would be very upset if that happened. So let's go. I need to eat first, though.
I think I could last a while, though.
Can we maybe not test that theory if it's all the same to you? I understand you are big and tough, and I'm giving you this compliment about that. You are big and tough. Please let's not test that. Thank you.
So you head down into the subway station to take the T, which of course, Brianna, you have to take the public transportation. You haven't taken public transportation since you were immortal. This is crazy. Vern seems completely comfortable down here, though, in the subway.
It's the rats. I don't like rats.
It's the rats, it's the smell, it's the noise. It's all very pedestrian, right?
As I sort of step into the subway car, Vern, Brianny, honest to God, wraps her arm around yours and puts her head on your shoulder.
What are you doing?
Been a shit couple of nights. Shut up.
Both of you rouse checks, please.
Okay.
We've moved the scene, and you're in close proximity again. Avery should be used to this by now.
Hold on. It's a failure.
So you're at how many hunger? 4?
I think I'm at 4 now, yeah.
Yeah. So for Vern, your hunger spikes as soon as Brianny puts her body so close to yours and wraps her arms around you. Brianny, as soon as you do that, the feeling of comfort and camaraderie and safety in Vern's arms is quickly overshadowed by Beryl's voice. Now, my dear, do we have to continue having this conversation? Do you remember how much I hated having to repeat myself? It is one of the many, many rules that you picked up so quickly, my dear. So let's just get this over with. Take his blood, leave him here on this disgusting train car, and go back to the beautiful business that you've built for yourself, and take care of this business. But first, let's just eat him and get him out of the way. He's just always around.
Brianny is not going to dignify it with a response.
Mm-hmm.
I do need to find something to eat, though, if we could stop off.
I think almost unconsciously, Vern will just offer his neck.
I don't want to hurt you.
I'm made of tougher stuff. As long as you're sure your dietary needs will be met.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Technically, storyteller. Bree prefers students like at MIT.
Yes. Of which Vern does not fall under that category. However, you are a siren, so I would allow. I mean, that's sort of a gray area. I would require a point of willpower spent. to feed off of Vern. He's not really a student you can seduce. I can't really justify that for your palate.
Yeah, no.
He's a student of the streets.
I got that dog in me.
Oh my god! I hate you both so much right now.
So I will leave it entirely up to you. If you'd like to feed off of him, you may spend me a point of willpower to do so, or you may say no.
I don't know if I would be able to stop with how hungry I am, and I don't want to cause any more problems.
No offense, princess, but I can stop you.
You sure?
You wouldn't be the first.
Bree will kiss Vern under the jaw and feed.
All right. You bite in. Willpower roll, please. As I just established those rules moments ago.
Success.
I need to know how many.
Oh, sorry. 2 successes. I've used some willpower.
Okay. 2 successes is the minimum I needed, so congratulations. You are going to Diablerize Vern on this train. And Vern, as you let her bite you, of course, the kiss is indescribable. It's the best, it's almost like you weren't getting beat on for the last 3 days, or 3 nights rather. It's the best feeling. This is actually the best night of your life. You would let Brienne take all of your blood, and perhaps you would even if the kiss didn't have the alluring effect that it does. You would let her take everything. It feels amazing to be this close to her and to give her sustenance, and you lean into it further and further and further. Of course, Brienne, Vern's blood is different than mortal blood, obviously. It's different than Beryl's blood when you first were embraced. Vern's blood is older than I think you expected, but it's also got a taste of like musk and dirt and animalistic. You understand now why everyone calls him a dog. His blood tastes feral, alive, spicy. You can't really put your finger on exactly what it is that you're drinking. And if you were a Tremere, this would be a much different conversation. However, how much are you taking?
I'll get myself down to 2.
2 rouse checks, Vern.
1 success, 1 failure.
So you are up to 3 hunger. And up and down we go.
I also have lingering kiss, which I forgot about until this
Oh,
moment.
perfect. So when Brienne removes her fangs, now you are aware, you've been around enough to know that the kiss is intoxicating and that you are always sad when it leaves. But this time, you aren't just sad when she stops biting you. You are immediately desirous, almost like a junkie. You want that hit again. You want to feel good like that again. And you grab onto her and pull her extremely close before you realize what it is that you're doing.
Vern.
Sorry. I got lost for a minute.
Yeah, no, sorry. I should have warned you. It's a thing with my particular... Sorry. I
don't think it was all that.
Huh?
I don't know how to talk about it. The way things used to be before Hazel was Prince. I don't know how to talk about it. I was Quentin's dog until he needed something else.
Oh.
And then when he would take someone else to bed and he would have me lay down at the foot of the bed
You don't have to talk about it, Vern. I'm sorry. I didn't.
No, it's fine.
Obviously not.
He was sick. More than just being a fucking kook. He was so much worse. I know Malkavians. I even like a few of them. I don't mean to keep going back to it, Bree, but he's a fucking monster. He's... Well, every fiber of you inside is screaming to go for his neck. You're crying tears of joy, lapping the blood off his fucking feet. He will make you a prisoner inside of your own body. Just playing the strings and laughing all the while. I met Contreras a long time ago. I blood hunted his wife, but she managed to escape. Azaria.
Oh.
She challenged Quentin to a duel. Of course, she fucking lost. Quentin was a nightmare. Contreras and Azaria won the Court of Love and Beauty's contest. Do you know what happened to the Kindred who didn't win, Bree? He killed them. That's how he maintained control. At least of those that he didn't want to touch more intimately. The fear that laid on this city was thick like fog coming off the bay. You could feel his presence in every room, every corner of every street. He was there with you, watching you, waiting for his little jesters to dance while him and his knights gallivanted up and down the city. And there were fucking 12 of them. So if you fucked with one of them, you were getting all of them. All 13. That's why the Sabbat was too afraid to fucking take this city. That's why they tried for years and they could never fucking pan it out. Because every time they would get close to any city close to us on the seaboard, here comes Quentin King and the Knights of the Round fucking Table.
Voice in your mind says, "Quiet, dog."
Fuck you.
Vern, do you say that out loud?
Yeah. And Vern will reach in his pocket and take out the Polaroid of the Iron Maiden with the eyes and the eye holes.
What you see when you look at it, Brienne, is you see exactly the Iron Maiden as you saw it at the Red Salon. Open, when you went down there and found Richard down there. An Iron Maiden completely open, drenched in blood. The Polaroid seems to have been taken exactly as you found it. It doesn't look any different. But as Vern shows it to you, you can see in his eyes, he seems to see the picture differently.
Vern, what do you see?
I saw Quentin's eyes in there.
Do you look at it again, Vern?
Mm-hmm.
You see it as you saw it at the Red Salon, completely open, drenched in blood. You don't see it closed with Quentin's eyes.
I know what I saw before, and I know I'm not fucking crazy. I don't know what kind of sorceries on that. But I know what I saw. And I know what I feel. And I know what I always felt. And they said, oh, we went to the beckoning, and I always fucking knew. I always fucking knew. He's too greedy for that. He had too many ideas to walk away. You know what he always told me, Bree? He said, I am the once and future king. I'll always come back for you. That's what he fucking said to me. I always knew he'd come back for his... So, you know, that old Judy Garland flick. And your little dog, too. I knew he'd fucking come back for me. I always fucking knew he would. The last thing a person leaves. They can sacrifice all their friends. They can sacrifice their family. But they always come back for the fucking dog.
Well, he can't have you.
I think you'll find that he can.
The train, the T, comes to a stop here at Washington Street. You know, it's just a short walk and jaunt up to the Queen's Cellar, where both of you can lay your heads down for the day. Seek out your coterie in the coming nights to search for, hopefully, the still on this side of the final death, Malkavian Primogen, Richard Dunham, and perhaps find if there's any truth to the rantings of Vern Rasmussen, the Camarilla dog, about Quentin King. That is where we're going to end this final prologue, A Leap from the Gallows, for this evening. Thank you both so much.